Hey guys, welcome back to another winning, getting, earning a platinum. Now, like I said last week, I am going to do The Walking Dead, Telltale's Walking Dead Season 3. So there will be spoilers. And as I said before in the past two episodes, so my format for doing this type of podcast is to go through every single trophy. But with the Telltale games, there's not really any. There's trophies, but there's not. It's like complete part one of episode one. I've said this past couple episodes. So I decided to go to a Wikipedia page because I tried YouTubing just kind of because that's what I did the first Walking Dead. I could almost remember it almost visually because I played it twice. Well, I played it once and then watched my brother play through it. So I ended up seeing it twice. So I can kind of tell from memory. And then episode 2 is kind of like I kind of remember some stuff. And then episode 3 is kind of where our season 3 is kind of like I don't know if I really like The Walking Dead. So I went to Wikipedia and we have the plot. So I'm going to read the plot. So and throughout I'll try to maybe talk about some of the decisions I made. So you start off in the game. You play as Have. He's the new protagonist. Last game was Clementine. The game before that was Lee. So Have is living with his parents and extended family in Baltimore at the onset of the Walker epidemic. I don't know if that's what they're calling it, because when I was reading the Walker epidemic, but so this includes his brother David, David's second wife Kate, and David's children Gabe and Marina. Also, I am terrible with names, so I apologize. I'm not trying to butcher any of these names on purpose. When Javi and David's father dies of cancer, he turns and bites their mother. When David takes her to the hospital but does not return, Javi and Kate eventually move on and set off off on the road with Gabe and Marina. I'm going to call her Marina. Mariana, maybe. 4 years later, while scavenging for supplies at the junkyard, the four have a run-in with a group of composed of Max, Badger, Lonnie, who claims the junkyard to be theirs. So, I think at the very beginning, I'm not for sure if it's said, but there's a fight between David and Have, and I believe that they are have an affair. I'm not sure if it happens or if it's I think David and Kate aren't happy. So I think Kate kind of goes to Have for advice or something, and then she ends up falling in love, or I'm using air quotes because I'm not 100% sure. So it's kind of like it's a weird relationship when they're kind of, because when they go set off, they of course they have their kid, their his nephews or nephew and niece. So yeah. Have is separated but is rescued by Clementine, who offers help to exchange for their family truck. So this is also where Clementine is introduced, and this is kind of where I'm like, I wanted Clementine to be strong, but this is kind of went way too far to the right, where it's just like, yeah, I don't trust anybody. Yeah, you take one wrong step, I'm gonna kill you, type. And I was like, Clementine, I get that we all have to be somewhat strong in this type of this world, but at the same time, it's like show compassion and stuff like that. Let's see. Clementine takes Have to Prescott, a fortified community within an old airfield, where he is introduced to Trip, Conrad, Francine, Eleanor, Trip. Wait. Okay, there's. I'm like, wait, they're just going over. So Trip and Eleanor agree to help rescue Jave's family. In the rescue attempt, Marina is killed by Badger, and Kate is critically wounded by his men. Clementine identifies one of the attackers as a member of the New Frontier, a large group of survivors that she had once met, claiming they were once good people, but have just turned corrupt. Makes sense. You're in a pandemic. You know, the end of the world is here. You know, people just kind of go crazy. Let's see. The group return to Prescott and heal Kate when Max and Badger appear at the gates, having taken Francine hostage and demand Have turn himself over. Regardless of Jave's response, Badger kills Francine and unleashes a horde of walkers into Prescott. Only Have, Clementine, Tripp, Conrad, Eleanor, Kate, and Gabe survive. After regrouping, Clementine suggests they go to Richmond, Virginia, where a sizable survivor camp can be found. A walker horde separates the group. Eleanor stays with Kate, while the others meet Paul Jesus Marone. I believe he is in the actual TV show Walking Dead. Or he's a big comic guy. I'm not for sure, one of the two. Who takes them through a tunnel shortcut. After Jesus reveals that the New Frontier controls Richmond, Clementine warns Have that she used to be a member of the New Frontier and will leave before reaching Richmond. Conrad listens to the conversation is just turning Clementine over to the New Frontier instead, so that the group can enter Richmond safely, and holds Gabe hostage to force Have into agreeing. Have either accepts the plan or murders Conrad on the spot. I don't remember what I picked for that option. I do remember, because Clementine, I think, is kind of secret in this, and the only times you play as Clementine is you're playing her in flashbacks. So you kind of see why she was part of this group. It would have been better. I think this game was because I think the first game has DLC, but it would have been good for like the season 2 to have DLC. Alright. The group reaches Richmond and demand to be let in for Kate's sake. With Clementine possibly used as a bargaining chip, the town's chief of security rise revealed to be David. So this was kind of like oh, okay. And I believe the person that plays David is an actor. I'm not 100%, because I think I saw him in something else. I might be confusing him with the brother in infamous Second Son, because I know he is an actor, an actual real actor. David takes Kate and Gabe to Dr. Lingard for medical care and keeps the others in quarantine. David later escorts Have around Richmond, explaining that he became the New Frontier's head of security after being unable to return to Baltimore. He then introduced Have to his second-in-command, Ava, and the two meet at a recovering Kate, whose relationship with David is deteriorating. Have then meets with David and the two of the other three New Frontier leaders, Clint and Joan, to argue his case for staying in Richmond. Max arrives and accuses Have of stealing New Frontier supplies and killing his men at the junkyard, while David supports Have. Joan and Clint refuse and exile Have. Oh, that's right. So I think this is either jumping the gun or but there's a scene where you have to pick to either save Tripp or this other person, and whoever you pick, that person dies. So I'm not for sure where that is. Also, you love my reading skills, I know it. As David returns, Clementine accuses him of being responsible for the death of the infant AJ. Flashbacks reveal that Clementine and AJ were forced to travel alone until they met Ava, who invited them into the New Frontier. When AJ became deathly ill, Clementine attempted to steal medicine from Lingard to save his life, which caused David to exile her without AJ, believing that AJ would last longer with the New Frontier than with Clementine. Makes sense, because AJ is probably like, I would say at least a year or two, old. So, and the Clementine was probably only, somewhere between 10 to 13, which also is kind of fucked up because I mean she's young, so it's like why are you sending her out, even if she is stealing. I mean there could be other ways to handle that, and we'll find out that David's kind of crazy. Let's see. David reveals that AJ recovered from his illness and Lingard knows his whereabouts. The group then overhears Max, Badger, and Lonnie in the warehouse, which is full of supplies raided from other communities, including Prescott. Badger is killed in retribution of Marina's death, while interrogated Max admits that Joan had ordered the raids. Promising to testify against Joan if spared, Jesus takes his leave to warn his own group that Joan, while the others return to Richmond to confront Joan and rescue Kate, Gabe, Eleanor, and AJ. If spared, Max reveals to Clint that Joan ordered the raids on the other communities, which Joan admits, believing her cause is necessary to ensure the Richmond survival, which, with the supplies from other communities. Whether exposed or not, Joan turns on David by labeling him a conspirator alongside Have, and prepares to hang David the next day at the town square. So I think this might be where... we'll just continue reading. Have escapes confinement and organizes his group, aiming to expose Joan and escape the truck after rescuing David. He and Clementine meet up at the hospital where Lingard, no longer able to cope with the New Frontiers action, demands being killed by injection in exchange for information on the whereabouts of AJ. Have can either capitulate to his demand. Capitulate. I have no idea what that word is. Holy shit. Demands or refuses, allowing Lingard to live. If complied with, Lingard reveals AJ to be with McCarroll Ranch. But if denied, the Lingard will refuse to go through with his deal, much to Clementine's rage. Either way, Lingard will explain Joan's plan to Have and Clementine before he falls asleep / dies. Kate also admits her love for Have, who has had the option of reciprocating. So I think I reciprocated. My reasoning is because as coming into the beginning scene, I can kind of tell that, the day, because there must have been something going on before the zombies started to take over, and it just kind of escalated from there on, that David and Kate were not, meant to be. And I think when I was playing it, I was like, Have and Kate, have been together for a while. Because I think they said, 4 years? So I was like, that's time for them to fall in love. And they also didn't know where David was. So it's like, who knows if he's alive or if he's dead. So, let's see. Jave's bid to expose Joan at the hanging fails via a betrayal from Eleanor, either out of vengeance or for Conrad's death, or believing that Jave's uprising would only make things worse. Having since captured Ava and Tripp, Joan allows Have to save one before instead of ordering that person's execution. Okay, so this is where you pick, and I believe whoever you pick, they die instantly right after. Because that is a Telltale's thing, where they're just like, we don't know what we want to do with this character. And this is also about the time that Telltale, the first Telltale, was kind of going through a lot of crunch. I don't think we knew about it at the time, but there was starting to be a fracture in Telltale. Let's see. Clint then offers Jave's group a deal to leave Richmond peacefully, which Have can either accept or refuse by killing Joan. Regardless, David is freed as a firefight breaks out. Kate races into the square with the truck, but crashes into a fence after being struck by a Molotov cocktail, which opens a breach and allows walkers to pour through. Let's see. The group barricades himself in an apartment building and plan on how to save Richmond. However, David views Richmond as a lost cause and suggests leaving the city, which Gabe agrees with. Which Gabe agrees with. Having grown aggressive over suspicion. Yeah. Love my readings out loud, by the way. Suspicion of Have and Kate's closing this. Oh my god, how to graduate. David fights his brother until walkers begin to close in on them. As David leaves in a truck with Gabe, Kate decides to man a bulldozer to help save Richmond. And I think I did help save Richmond. Let's see. Javier must decide whether to pursue David or help Kate. Okay, so this is where I did help Kate. Depending on the choices she made in the flashback, Clementine will decide to either follow Javier's lead, split up from him, or go after Gabe and David, or stay with Kate. Their choices result in Javier losing David, Gabe, and or Kate. Jesus returns with reinforcements and helps the survivors round up the walkers and lead them out of Richmond, saving the town. Days later, Javier memorizes the ones lost and meets Jesus, who suggests that he becomes Richmond's new leader regardless if he killed Joan or not. If spared, Lingard tells Clementine where AJ is, and Clementine decides to leave Richmond to find him. After Javier gives Clementine a haircut, they bid goodbye and she departs. So like I said, I think in episode 1, this was what I was referring to is the shortness hair of Clementine. So I know there's more things that happen in there. Like I said, there's a lot of characters that I don't know if there's a lot. But like I said, depending on who you save, either Trip or Ava, they die instantly right after. This was kind of where my I think The Walking Dead season 1 was the only season that I had while I was still in production. I think the season 2 and the season 3, I waited till it was the full game, just to make sure, because I kind of saw the writing on the wall with Telltale before. I'd say at least a year or two before that they actually closed down, where I was like, I want to make sure that if I give them money, I don't want to be stuck on owning only half the season or something like that. So, because I think you could just buy every episode, which I think was like $5 or $10, because I don't think the Walking Dead games or any Telltale games ever went over like 30. So, like I said, I waited, and then quit. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. Whatever the next, holy shit, whatever the next, the Walking Dead season 4, when that came out, I think they ended on either episode 3 or episode 4, and then whoever the company came and bought the rights to Telltale ended up finishing it up. So I have not played The Walking Dead season 4 because season 3 really kind of killed me on the actual series. Like I said, the first episode or the first season with Lee to ending with Clementine was probably one of the best stories I've seen in a long time. And then having Clementine be the lead, which was fine, but just kind of her bossing around characters who were in their 20s, and it's like it would have made more sense if she ended up with a bunch of kids, because that would have been if you just turn all the people from adults to kids, hell of a lot more sense. Probably would have been another good season. And then season 3 was just kind of like, I'm like, I really don't like the other thing that I don't think I really talked about in the last 2 episodes I might have said it in this first. When you pick, so you only have X amount of time to pick a choice. And when you pick a choice, sometimes the way you read it in your head is not the way that they say it out loud. You know, there's a lot of times where I picked a choice thinking it was the right choice, the calm choice, and it turned into the antagonist, you know, or putting somebody down choice. And so that was really starting to eat at me when I was playing the Walking Dead games, where I'm like, oh my god, these characters just hate me for no reason. You know, and I get you can't please everybody. You can't, you know, if you try to please everybody in any game, you end up screwing somebody over somehow. And I get it. And so that was starting to bother me playing these games, where I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't like any of these characters, and I really didn't like any of the characters in season 3. So, but yeah, I think the other thing too, as I said, so I want to clarify something, that why I like Kenny, because I brought it up last, because you know, the ending of season 2, you could pick between either saying Kenny or I forgot her name, but you can say this other girl. And you know, I chose Kenny. The other reason why I liked Kenny is because he looked like my neighbor. Every time I see him, I'm just like, okay, you know, hey, it's my neighbor, you know. So that was kind of another reason why I liked Kenny. But so Kenny also comes back in this game. He's a flashback, and they basically kill him off. I believe either choice, whoever you pick, the character dies in a flashback. I think the girl hangs herself because she can't see. A lot of people. Okay, nobody said anything, but I you know, I told you, in my time of need, having somebody by my side is more important than somebody who's going to bail on me. And what did she do? She got pregnant, I think, with Luke's baby, and so she ended up killing herself. And so, you know, she basically bailed on Clementine. You know, Clementine's got this kid with her, and she's 13 or whatever. I don't know how old she is. Okay, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out right now. I want to know how old Clementine is, because Clementine, a child, is taking care of a baby, taking care of a group, and this girl finds out she's pregnant, and she can't take. I'm not saying anything on anybody, you know. I'm just saying in this type of game, how old is Clementine? How old is Clementine pregnant on Zoo? What? Clementine. Alright, I'm about to check. How old is Clementine pregnant? How is Clementine pregnant on Zoo? What the fuck is that? Alright, let's find out. We're going to Wikipedia. So in season 1, she's 8 to 9. Season 2, she's 11. In season 3, she's 13. So in the final, okay. So she, yeah. So a 13-year-old, a kick-ass 13-year-old, I should say, taking care of a baby in a group, and you find out you're pregnant, and you just like, yeah, I'm bailing on this 13-year-old. I'm out, you know. How Kenny dies is, he's teaching Clementine how to drive, and something ends up happening. Clementine ends up crashing, and Kenny gets paralyzed, and then of course, surprise, surprise, there's a bunch of walkers around. I think that's what they call them, and he ends up dying to them. So that's yeah. So that's the third final Walking Dead Telltale game. I might, if I ever find it on disc, I might play season 2. It's probably rare because I know that the prices of Walking Dead games, or not, any Telltale games went up. So hope you guys enjoyed. Next week it's going to be back to our regular, scheduled, where I just go through the trophies and kind of talk about them. And I'm gonna introduce a couple segments because I think a couple segments would be kind of fun. So hope you guys. Thank you for slogging with me for the last 3 weeks. I should have put the Walking Dead games a little bit after a couple episodes, just so you guys kind of know the format. It's hard to talk about the trophies, especially when there's, like I said, complete part 1, complete part 2, complete part 3, 4, 5. Oh, number 6, you complete off the first parts. So I think the only game, the Telltale games I know that did it is the Telltale's something, The Wolf Among Us. That's what it is. Where it's they add 5 trophies on each chapter that you have to pick a second choice or something like that. I think that's the only unique Telltale game, because I think all the rest are just back to 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 and then stuff like that. So hope you guys enjoyed. Can't wait to see you guys next week. So later.